This video shows you how to use AIS to rate learning modules. ACASE's assessment information system is not just for rating student attainment on learning goals. We educators can use it to assess our work as well, and use that information to add value to what we do. For your actual assignment, you will be given a username and password to a particular site in which to enter your ratings. For this video, we'll use the AIS Playground to get the general idea of how to rate learning modules. Learning modules are assessed based upon the Indicators of Quality for Learning Modules, or IQLM. An assessment activity, called IQLM-03, has already been made in order to group together the 25 criteria on which we will rate the learning modules. Let's go to this class, called Rating LM, or Rating Learning Modules, to view the assessment event. This is where we will enter our ratings. Here's the assessment event. Instead of student names, you can see 3 different learning modules, one for each domain. The 25 criteria on the IQLM are listed here. Let's enter ratings. Let's pretend that you have the Skill Learning module in front of you. Imagine that you have read through the learning module and are ready to enter ratings. Let's walk through a few of the items to explore the process. The first criterion says practical, but what does that mean? Click on the question mark for more information. Practical learning objectives are written at a level appropriate for and specific to individual lessons or units, as opposed to broad learning goals. The presence of a perfectly aligned assessment can be a good indicator of the desired level of specificity. This gives us guidance as to what we should use when judging whether a learning goal in the learning module is practical or not. Remember, we use the term learning goal to refer to any intended learning outcome, whether it is a broad learning goal or a practical learning goal. Remember also that the term we use for practical learning goal is learning objective. So we refer back to the learning module. Let's pretend the learning goal is written as follows: develop science literacy skills. This seems like a broad learning goal, rather than a practical learning goal. It is not specific enough for a particular lesson, and it is too broad for a perfectly aligned assessment item. In other words, it is not at the level of specificity of a learning objective. We'll give it a rating of 0. Then we'll use the comment box for perhaps the most illuminating part of this exercise, recording the evidence you use to substantiate your ratings, and indicating questions you have, problems you see, suggestions for improvement, or general comments you wish to express to your colleagues. For example, let's try another item, justified. What does this mean? Learning objectives are justified or substantiated by being explicitly referenced to state, national standards, and/or appropriate research. Reference to expert judgments and insights, or the personal research of a teacher can also be of value as justification or substantiation. Okay, I think I understand now. While the science literacy learning goal is broad, the author of this learning module justifies science literacy skills as worth spending instructional time on. We'll rate this as a 2, and reference the evidence we used to make that rating in the comment box. Let's move down the IQLM criteria and try one more, State of Assessment Instruments. Clicking on the question mark shows that there is no information for this one. But that's okay. Let's take a look at the scale and see what that says. Assessment results have been applied to produce inferences, conclusions, and recommendations to improve assessment activities. At this stage of development of the learning module, this criterion is not applicable because assessment instruments have not even been administered yet. Therefore, we'll assess this criterion next round. We'll indicate not rated. Follow this process for all the criteria on the IQLM. Then, click Save. Now it's your turn to use AIS in a new way and rate a learning module. You will receive an email message that will give you a username and password allowing you to enter AIS to make these kinds of ratings.